You are 3 years old. You do not have words for most of what you feel. You have not yet learned that feelings have names, that what is moving through you right now has a label that adults use, that someday you will be able to say, I am scared, or I am lonely, or I need you, and those words will mean something. Right now, you only have the feeling, and the feeling is large. And the person who makes large things feel smaller is somewhere in this house. So you reach. This is the first thing you do. Before words, before strategy, before you have any concept of what you are doing or why, you reach. It is the oldest instruction your body has. When the world feels too big, reach toward the person who makes it smaller. You extend your arms, you look toward the doorway, you wait. The person you love most is in the next room. You can hear them. The sounds of them moving, existing, being close. And you wait for the doorway to fill with their face. It does not. They did not hear. Or they heard and they are finishing something. Or they are tired in a way you do not yet have a concept for. A kind of tired that lives deeper than the body, that makes even love feel like effort. Your arms stay up for a moment, then they lower. You do not think, I am not worth coming for. You do not think anything yet. You are 3. But something is noted, something in the part of you that is older than thought, older than language, the part that is simply keeping records. Something is noted. When I reach, nothing comes. You will reach again, many times, because you are 3 and you do not yet know how to stop. And sometimes something will come. A voice from the other room, a hand on your head, a presence that arrives and fills the space your arms were asking for. And that will be noted too. But the reaching that goes unanswered, that is noted first. That is noted longest. That is what stays. You are 4 years old. Something has gone wrong. You do not know what it is. You only know that the feeling is too large for your body. It is pressing against the inside of you looking for a way out. And the way out is sound and tears and the particular kind of falling apart that 4-year-olds do when the world has become more than they can hold. You begin to cry. And then you watch the person you love most change. You do not have words for what happens to their face. You only know it changes. The thing that was there before, the thing that felt like ground beneath you, shifts. Something tightens. Something moves away even though the body stays close. And then their feeling is in the room too. Their worry or their frustration or their own particular flavor of overwhelm. It is in the room now alongside yours, and the room is full. You feel this. You feel it before you understand it. You feel that your feeling has done something to them, that your falling apart has made something harder for the person who was supposed to hold the falling apart. And so you stop. Not because the feeling is gone. The feeling is exactly where it was. But you have learned something, quietly, without anyone telling you, that your falling apart is a cost. That bringing the full weight of what you feel to the person you love creates something in them that frightens you more than the feeling itself. So you begin to manage it, quietly, alone, earlier and earlier each time. You are 4 years old and you are already learning to schedule your own grief. You are 5 years old. You made something. It took a long time. You worked on it when you did not know how, and you figured out a part that you did not know how to figure out, and when it was done, there was something in your chest that felt like, this is the one. This is the thing I want someone to see. You carry it to the room where the person you love is. They look up. They say something kind, something warm, something true. They mean it. You know they mean it. The warmth is real. And then they look back at what they were doing. And you stand there for a moment, holding the thing you made, in the place where the moment was supposed to happen. Then you carry it back to your room. You do not stop making things, not yet, but something small adjusts. Something in the part of you that decides what is worth the risk of showing, something recalibrates. You begin to look at what you make and ask a question you should not yet be old enough to ask. Is this good enough to be worth stopping the day for? You are 5 years old. You should not be asking that question. But you are. You are 5 years old. You did something wrong. It was not enormous. It was the kind of wrong that 5-year-olds do. A thing broken, a rule forgotten, a moment of not knowing better in the way that 5-year-olds do not know better because they are 5. But before anyone has spoken, before any words have been said, you feel the room change. This is the thing nobody knows you can do. Feel the room change. Feel the temperature drop. Feel the specific quality of the silence that means something is coming. You've been learning to read this the way other children learn to read letters, carefully, quietly, with a kind of attention that costs you something every time. You make yourself smaller, not in any way anyone would notice, just internally. The part of you that takes up space pulls inward, just in case, just to make it easier, just to give the room less to be upset about. You are 5 years old, and you are already managing your own presence in a room based on someone else's emotional weather. You learned to read the weather because the weather mattered, because when the weather changed and you were not ready, it cost you something. And so you learned to always be ready. You are always ready now, even when there is nothing coming, even when the day is ordinary and the room is safe and nobody is upset about anything. You are still reading the weather. You are still slightly smaller than you would be if you had never needed to learn this. You are 5 years old. You need something. It is not a complicated need. A 5-year-old's needs are not complicated. They are just urgent and entirely present and impossible to defer without cost. You go to the person you love and you say what you need, and they say, later. Not unkindly, they mean it. Later is real. Later exists on their horizon as an intention, a genuine one. They are simply in the middle of something, the way adults are always in the middle of something, the way the middle of something never seems to end. You wait for later. Later does not come. Not because they forgot you, not because they do not love you, but because later moved the way later moves. It became another later, and then another, until the shape of what you needed had changed enough that the moment for it had passed. You note this, not with anger, not yet with resignation, just, you note it. The way you have been noting everything, the way the part of you that is keeping records notes it quietly and files it away with all the other things that have been filed. And the next time you need something, you wait a little longer before saying it. You check first whether this is a later kind of moment. You begin to develop a sense for which needs are worth the asking and which are better held until they go away on their own. You are 5 years old and you are already learning to ration your own wanting. This is what it feels like, not in theory, not as a concept. This is the actual texture of the ordinary days, the reaching that goes unanswered, the feeling that becomes a cost, the thing made and carried back, the room read and managed, the wanting rationed until it becomes smaller than it was. This is what your child's days are made of. Not the dramatic moments, not the arguments or the ruptures or the visible crises, the invisible ones, the ones happening right now, in the ordinary, unremarkable Tuesday of your child's actual life. And here is what I need you to hear. That child is not acting out. That child is reaching out. Every behavior you have ever called difficult, the clinginess, the meltdowns, the pushing away, the shutting down, the asking for things at the worst possible moment, the falling apart over nothing, is a reach. A reach that has learned to disguise itself because the direct reach did not work reliably enough. The child who hits when they are scared is reaching. The child who laughs when they are hurt is reaching. The child who shuts down when you try to connect is reaching. The child who asks for water 7 times after bedtime is reaching. They are not giving you a hard time. They are having a hard time. And the only tool they have, the only tool any of us have at the beginning, is to reach toward the person who is supposed to make hard times smaller. You are that person. You are the weather of your child's world, the temperature of every room they walk into, the answer to the question they are asking with every behavior that confuses or exhausts or overwhelms you. Am I worth coming for? And you, with your tiredness and your own unfinished things and your own history and your own particular way of sometimes being in the middle of something, you are giving them an answer every single day. Not with your words, with your presence. With the direction your face turns when they reach. With whether later becomes real or dissolves. With whether the room stays steady when they fall apart, or whether your feeling joins their feeling and makes the room too full. You do not have to be perfect. You cannot be. And the good news, the actual good news, not the consolation prize version, is that perfection is not what they need. They need you to notice the reach before it turns into something else, before it learns to disguise itself in the behaviors that are harder to love, before the child who extends their arms toward the doorway learns to lower them before anyone sees. They are reaching right now. Turn toward it. And if this landed, if you recognized a moment or a Tuesday or a reach you may have missed, the next video is about what happens when you turn toward it. What repair actually looks like. What it feels like to a child when the room that used to be unpredictable becomes safe. That one is next.